So I only have one more question, I think. I do. This one's intense. I pretty much ask it to everybody. It's a weird transition, but I like to ask this type of stuff. This is an evolving question, but currently in your life right now, what's your meaning of life?
Oh,
it's a little much. Yeah.
Oh man.
And and I feel like there's no answer to this question. I feel like it's gonna change constantly, but like right now, where you're at.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm like settling into it. Like it's kind of just like just be happy and like do the thing and like get by until the thing makes me prosper. Yeah. I'm on like that mindset because like everything's like slowly getting better or like growing. Yeah. And I haven't had a real job since like September. Okay. And that scared me at first because I was like, I didn't like quit with like the idea of like I'm gonna go full time on comedy. Like I got fired and then didn't find a job for a couple weeks. And then it was my second time getting fired in like 3 months. And I'd never been fired before that. But I think like my bosses at those 2 jobs could tell like I don't care about these things anymore because like I had other shit coming up that I was more excited for.
I think that's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I think it's like the, not to get, but the universe, I think the universe is trying to say, go like full time, like go full time on comedy.
Yeah. And it's weird because like some people are like, yo, that's the move. And then there's other comics who are like, oh, you don't want to get stuck doing that. And I'm like, no, I do. This is what I want to get stuck doing. This is the goal. If I get stuck here, that rules. I don't want to end up at Amazon in 5 years.
It's funny. I'm in a similar position myself because I have my own business teaching piano lessons, and I want to like go full into like not 100% piano lessons. I kind of want to split it up between the piano lessons and performing, whether that's performing comedy or music. I have a lot of different avenues I could take. Like, and I've always been like insecure about the idea of just going all on my own, and I've always kept like part-time jobs here and there, and I was doing DoorDash also, which was like
doing that for a little bit,
which in hindsight is so dumb because you're not it's like an instant solution, but in the big picture, like you're barely getting paid anything, you're putting miles on your car, it's not an investment in your future in any way.
Yeah. So
when I moved here in Mount Laurel, I was like, I need money to support my dreams. I'm just going to DoorDash part-time to get the money. I couldn't make the money here. Yeah. Where I lived in Central Jersey, you would get orders constantly. Here, like I would have to wait in my car for like an hour to get an order. I'm like, well, this isn't working. And then I got a part-time job in Philly, and then I kept getting parking tickets, and I'm like, well, this isn't working. And I'm like, why don't I invest in myself and see if that works? Because I've never had the confidence. I've had the confidence to do it like halfway, but never just go in.
Yeah, it's definitely the move, and like it is it's cliche, but it's like you got to spend it to make it. And like even though I got fired and they gave me like a severance check, and I had like no money other than that severance check, but I was like, I'm just gonna like put this into the podcast. And then we like built a studio in my house, and then our producer quit, but then we got in a better studio, so like it all worked out at a good time. I'm like happy I got fired now. I was so mad driving home the day I got fired.
And it was Amazon you were working
No. I'm saying like I just don't want to end up working for something like that in the future.
That,
I kind of deserved to get fired the first time.
Were they angry with you, or were they more just like, you need to leave? Like
No, so the first one I lied on my resume and they dude, I have like 5 different fake resumes that like I've done everything according to my resume. It's like I have experience in every job, but I really don't, obviously. But so I was an insurance broker for a little bit, and they were like, you can make like $80,000 salary. I was like, this is beautiful, and they fired me after 3 weeks because they were like, you clearly don't know anything. And then,
that's some good fake business.
It was, dude. I lied my way through the interview, and
dude, that's awesome.
And then so I was unemployed for like 2 months, and then I got another job, but it was just like data entry. It was very easy. But when they hired me, it was like a remote job. But then they were like, well, your first 100 days have to be in office. And then it was too far. And then after like 3 weeks of there, I was like, can I just do this from home? And then they said no, and then I was kind of like, well, can you fire me then? And then they did. I was like, I don't want to quit in case I get unemployment. Which I still haven't got yet, which I'm proud of.
So if someone fires you, you're then eligible to claim unemployment. Is that what that is?
That's what I've heard. I think if you quit, you can't.
You can't. So you're like, fire me.
Yeah. Like, let me do something wrong.
That was a good point. That was a good move on your part. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then they gave me a severance check too, which I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, no. I think you're on the right track. I don't listen to the people who say don't, because you always have to look at the person. Like, whenever I get mixed advice from people, I try to follow the advice from the people who I want to be like.
Yeah.
Like, piano, for example. I always played by ear growing up, but it wasn't until I was like in my 20s that I wanted to take it really seriously.
Did you teach yourself how to play?
Yes and no. I took lessons briefly when I was like 5 or 6, but it was like very basic. Then all throughout the years after, I taught myself, and I played mostly by ear. And then I was in college, and I was like, I really want to learn how to do this correctly. And a lot of people in my life were like, you're too old to do this. Like, don't do this. But then I had professors who were like traveling pianists, like who did like concert halls, and they'd be like, if you really love this, you should do it. So it's like, whose advice do you want to follow? The guy who works at Subway, or the classical pianist? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I always try to like take the advice from those people. So amongst your comedian friends, like, take the advice from the people who are actually killing it, you know?
Yeah, you're right, because everyone that said that to me is like so much less funny than me.
And or like don't have the balls to do it themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I don't like put myself on like this crazy pedestal, but like I know who I'm better than, and like the people who are all like, dude, you need a fucking job, and I was like, I think I do a little bit better than you at this. But then all the people that I'm trying, like you said, that I'm trying to be like, they're all fucking killing it and don't work and play video games and do podcasts for a living.